this counter-drug mission, which is focused on dismantling the infrastructure of these terrorist organizations that are operating in our hemisphere, undermining the security of Americans, killing Americans, poisoning Americans. And this has been a highly successful mission that's ongoing and continued.
It is the 22nd bipartisan briefing we've had on a highly successful mission to counter designated terrorist organizations, cartels, bringing weapons meaning drugs, to the American people and poisoning the American people for far too long.
Okay, that was Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth, the last part. And then first, that was Secretary of State Marco Rubio after they briefed members of Congress. Again, you just heard Jillian report that the Southern Command announced it took out 3 narco-trafficking vessels in the Eastern Pacific. Joining us now, Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt. Senator, thank you for joining us. You were in that briefing today with Secretary Hegseth and Secretary Rubio. Are you satisfied with the fact that they're not going to release that videotape of what happened with that double tap strike in September? What do you think?
I mean, I think this whole thing's a fake controversy. It's very clear from a legal perspective, the president has, by being designated from Congress, by the way, the authority to designate terrorist organizations. He's done that through a handful of cartels. Those cartels are moving drugs to poison 100,000 Americans who die each and every year from it. He has every legal right to order the strikes to take out the narco-terrorists. I think the real controversy, honestly, is the fact that the Democrats are encouraging members of the military to disobey orders, by the way, and then also implying that if they don't do what the Democrats want them to do, they might be subject to prosecution. This is a very, very dangerous road to go down. But the truth is, the president and the secretary have every ability, every legal authority to blow those narco-terrorists out of the waters. They're doing it. That will continue. We also learned that it's been had a tremendous deterrent effect. You're seeing fewer and fewer of those. You combine that with the progress that's been made with China to reduce and categorize the precursors that create fentanyl in Mexico. This is a holistic approach, again, to save American lives, and I'm glad they're doing it.
Did you see that unedited video? Did you see the video of the double tap strike?
I'll see that tomorrow. I've talked to Senator Cotton, who has seen it a week or so ago, who's described it as these individuals trying to carry forth their mission, which was to poison Americans. So we'll look at it tomorrow. But again, the Democrats just come up with something new every week to try to have some fake controversy because they don't like Pete Hegseth. That's the honest truth. They tried really hard to prevent his confirmation. He got in. He's doing a great job. And they just want to create something out of nothing seemingly every week.
So we know that crime drains $1 trillion to $2 trillion annually from the U.S. economy. It costs the U.S. economy 4 points to 7 points of U.S. GDP growth. That's really the story, not to mention the more than 500,000 lives lost to drugs since 2021. So the focus has been on this double tap strike. What about the broader issue of what we're just talking about?
No, I think it's critical. As a former prosecutor myself, the state attorney general in Missouri saw it firsthand. We saw what an open border looked like. The cartels, these are ruthless people who murder people, they rape people, they human traffic, they have their lanes of distribution, not only in Mexico, but in the interior of the United States. President Trump closed the border, right? And now they're on the high seas and he's taking them out there too. So finally we have a president that's very focused on this and executing something that will actually work. And I, for one, am glad that we're focused on the Western Hemisphere, our own backyard here, to protect Americans.
Thank you so much, Senator Schmitt, for joining us tonight. I appreciate you very much.